have you ever thought that maybe you should just like work for an established company and not like go through the whole startup process?
I'm not gonna lie. There are times where like
there was a time.
your
Excuse
bonus is now.
I feel like a husband and a wife are fighting, but they're like,
Oh my god, we're in therapy right now.
hi guys, welcome back to This Is Not a Podcast. We have two amazing guests over here, Suzana and Joel.
Thanks.
Do you want to be called Joel or Joel?
Joel is good.
Joel.
Yeah.
Joel's good.
Yeah.
Okay guys, how are you feeling today?
I'm expecting like, a birthday cake situation
Oh.
happening anytime soon.
A
Because
birth-
this is what they always do to me, right? They'll
Oh.
they'll say happy birthday Susu and then like break up.
I was like, did we forget her birthday?
Yeah, dude,
Joel was like petrified.
Yeah, his soul left his body.
November 29th.
Oh yeah, you got
Yeah, she's a fellow Scorpio, I think.
No.
she's not
No, do not
Sagittarius.
associate me with Scorpio. Like I'm
Yeah.
a
Why?
Sagittarius. Dude, Scorpions are so characteristic.
He is
Like-
Scorpion.
Exactly.
Please tell us.
Him and then like most Scorpions I know are like
Are they
very.
good people or bad people?
Generally bad.
Debatable.
I plead the fifth.
They're talked about.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, they're always talked about.
Yeah.
Guys, for context, every time we go to Cheesecake Factory, there's this thing where if you tell them that it's your birthday, they'll bring out a cake. And every time we go with Suzana, we tell the waiters there that it's her birthday. So they bring out a cake, but Suzana has no idea.
Yeah, and they sing like really loudly.
So everybody is also singing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I really hate someone, I would do that.
And
But you get free
uh,
cheesecake.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Cheesecake is great.
It's written Susu.
So that's your nickname.
That's what my parents call me.
No,
but
now the internet will call you.
Yeah,
that.
now
Come on.
Yeah.
everybody call you.
You know, I can see you start a fund called Susu Ventures.
Why would you do that?
I'm not gonna start a fund.
SV at susuventures.com.
I'm not laughing.
Dude, I laugh at my own joke. That's
I
how
know,
I get
that's-
through my day.
That's
like,
your entire brand. I get it. Yeah.
exactly. That's how it is.
Okay, guys, talking about ventures, what do you guys do for work? Because that's how we met, in a
Oh,
way.
damn.
So, yeah.
Oh.
What do you guys do for work?
What do I do for work?
Give us the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So we. Oh god. That's like.
Oh my god. Oh,
You go for it.
my God.
Why don't you go for Why are you making it?
I mean, I was like,
After-
I do it. I was
After 7 p.m., my brain just switches off.
Okay.
No, like I don't talk
She's
about
off work right
CRMs.
now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's in Metro Woman mode. But yeah, so we build.
The way his voice
changes. Oh my God.
His mannerisms, everything.
It's like, yeah.
It's like it
the way
goes
you
deeper.
were. Yeah.
The American accent comes out.
You know, this accent thing is very interesting. Like, I don't really try to do it, but it's just code shifts. Is that what you call it?
I don't know what it's called, but it makes a huge difference when you have an accent on.
I
Yes,
mean,
we
yeah,
know
it's
people,
like
so.
my valuation just went up, bro. Like, whoa. No, but in the context of like how we met, right? Basically, we were building the equivalent of the creator IPO, so you can invest in content creators when they're just starting out. So I had a podcast, 200 subscribers, still going strong, 700 subscribers now, hopefully after this. And basically, I couldn't make any money from it, and I was like, wait, like we got to do something about this. There's so many creators around the world who are independent, freelancing, doing so many things, but just don't have anyone to give them that initial round of belief capital, right? And that's what we wanted creators to have, and which is why we came to you and then basically we're like, oh, you guys are going to become like Justin Bieber or like super famous one day, so like your community could really benefit from that because they're supporting you from the day one. Don't they deserve to be like share in the fruits kind of your labor when you guys are ultra successful? You guys are fine right now. Like,
He pivoted his entire company because he had no faith in us becoming the next Justin Bieber.
no. So obviously there was a bit of a pivot. This is not what we're doing anymore. And as most startups, like you hear about Slack, which is now a work tool, used to be a gaming tool, messaging app for a gaming company kind of a thing. Similarly, we also pivoted, and we had like 7 different iterations and a whole pivot spiral where Susie, I would say, almost gave up on us. We're like, you said nothing is off limits.
Okay, I guess it's Susie versus Joya.
No, I mean, she's been waiting for this day. She's gonna knock me out by the end of this. But
Okay, can you
Yeah.
quickly take us through the 7 pivots till what
Dude,
we reach
that's-
right now? No, just quickly.
Like one sentence.
And for our viewers, I want them to understand what you do, so as simple as possible.
Okay. So you're talking about each pivot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So-
each pivot can be like quick, but like when you reach
The final product that
product,
you're at right now.
I just want everybody to understand what it is. So
Okay, cool.
Time to
So-
trauma dump.
Dumb it down.
yeah,
Yeah,
dumb it down.
trauma
for
dump.
me. Dumb it
Camera
down
dump,
for me.
like,
Dumb
yeah.
dumb it down for
Okay.
me. Everybody will understand.
Actually, I think the first few like will be very much up your alley. So the first pivot after this, and again, the reason we pivoted was FTX crashed, the markets kind of collapsed completely, the tailwinds fell apart, and then nobody wanted to talk about crypto. Now it's hot again, everybody's talking about it again, but at the time nobody did. And look, we're kids from here, right? Like we don't really get second chances in Silicon Valley. Like we raised like $2.75 million. Yeah, by the way, I did that. Like, but like the idea is that like, if you do that crash and burn once, what is the real chance that you have to do that again, right? So we were like, hey, like we're not ready to give up. We have so much steam to go. Let's figure this out, right? What are we good at and what does the market need? So we thought at one point, and every idea we thought was going to be the thing, right? So this one was user-generated content for brands. Now we know this is a big theme, but is it a $1 billion idea? Is it a $100 million revenue company, which is the way that VC is sort of evaluated? You need to be 100 million in run rate, and then have that's how you did 10x that and say it's a $1 billion valuation. So didn't really we did it for about a couple of months, I think, right? And then like didn't really work out, and like we did it for a few people, just didn't work out for us, and like she was doing all of the work, like none of it was techified. We tried to, but to productize something like that is so difficult, and you guys will know that.
Yeah, you
doing
can't.
for
I
me.
don't think.
Yeah, because even with all of the AI creativity stuff that's going on
Yeah.
right now, it's still so difficult.
Yeah.
So doing it back then was even harder. And then we were like, okay, cool. We talked about brands. What about loyalty programs for brands? The small brands don't really have loyalty programs set up. The big ones do, and super established like H&M, Zara, all these guys have programs, right? But the tiny mom and pop shops, like where you go to get your coffee every single, like French Toast or something like that, you go every morning, you get a coffee. Like, do you have a loyalty program? Maybe you have it on a card or something
Yeah.
like that, and you stamp like all the time. Instead, it should be digitized on your phone in your app wallet. Like okay, that's the thing. But then it was like those small businesses don't really have the ability to like foot the bill for these things, and like we didn't really see the full picture of the landscape. Although now that I think about it, you could have built a completely like vertical stack where you get in on the payments of the small brand or something like that. But anyways, we didn't last too long in that. And then something happened where I was just like, you know what? Like I saw a good old friend of mine basically like, talk about AI, like, and then she was talking about AI with her other friend, right?
Yes.
Right.
The
yeah.
friend.
The
Yes.
friend. Yeah.
Friend. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is trauma dump.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy that guy's AI company. And it's a publicly listed company. So like, there's no freaking way we could have bought it. But it's like, let's look at this AI thing. And then we're like, AI loyalty programs. What if I could have like a loyalty program that's specifically giving you things that you want, right? Like cater to the things that you like. Prada glasses or Dodgers t-shirts and like Nike shoes and like whatever it is, like only programs that are right for you.
Right.
Again, couldn't really figure it out, scrapped it. And at this point, like I'm losing my shit, right? Like as I'm like, I did this, like tried it again, failed. Like every time I go head first, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be it. This is going to be the one idea that's going to change our lives. And like, I've got a huge team of like 12 people who are relying on me to kind of like come up with this magic idea that's going to like make us $1 billion company, right? And it didn't work out. And like I was pretty like tired, I would say, and I was pretty burnt out and I was like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not the right person to. Maybe I just got lucky, right? Like I raised at the peak of the bull market, and like maybe that was just what it was. And then I ended up in the brokerage office of a guy called Daniel Daggers, who's the star of a Netflix show called Buying London. It's the first real estate show to be bought to the UK by Netflix. And while I was in the office, someone kind of may have mistook me for like tech support, and then was like, "Hey Joel, can you please fix my Mac?" And I was like, "Absolutely, right?" Like, and then basically they told me their problems with real estate, like technology in real estate. And then the next thing you know, we were coming back to Dubai and trying to figure it out with this entire market. We realized that 90% of WhatsApp communication, like written communication, is on WhatsApp. And then we're like, you know what? There's no real tools to kind of streamline this entire thing. You send passport documents on WhatsApp, you send Emirates ID and all this kind of stuff, but then you don't know where it goes. Like,
Yeah.
and then you have to email it to your like from your WhatsApp to the email. And then like, if you're a real estate agent and you're doing this for hundreds of clients, and there's companies that have like 15,000 leads to cater to every single month, which is ridiculous. How do you kind of do this all fast? So there was nothing that combined WhatsApp automation, AI, and a CRM. And we're like, okay, let's build something here. So today, what we're building is what we call the AI workforce for real estate teams. So we'll have an AI admin assistant that will do your booking, your viewings and appointments and to-do lists. So if you just voice note and say, hey, Kendall, book me a viewing, book me an appointment, it'll book it for you and send a calendar invite to the client as well and everything. It's just that.
So if I want to go see an apartment, I can just use Kendall AI and...
No, not you as a consumer,
It's for
the
the
agent.
broker.
It's for
the
the
agent, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the agent can schedule it for us. And then you as a customer, like, wow, this guy's so switched on. Like, I just told him I'm interested and he's already sent me this thing. Like, it's amazing.
So basically, it's like reducing the time that a broker will take to respond to you
Yeah.
by like, I'm assuming like
A lot.
any time of the day.
Yeah, not just respond, like basically respond with substance, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of tell me the 3 most relevant properties for me, or like why I should look at this particular, like, all of this kind of data driven pieces. So that's the AI admin assistant. And then we have something called an AI property manager that we're working on, which is kind of going to be automating this property management stuff, which is very like mundane, right? Like you have a maintenance guy, you have a electrician, you have a plumber, you have to basically unify all these workflows. And then, like, that's kind of like, it's all very mundane basically. And most brokerages don't even want to do it, but all of their clients go to them, like, let's say Shamini owns a home. Shamini owns a few homes, right? Like, and she's like, dude, Joel, you're my freaking agent, bro. Just like take care of it, right? Like you've got the sale down, you got me to buy this thing. Now can you also rent it out for me, right? So then you're like, okay, cool, fine. But I don't have a property management vertical. But our tech will enable you to launch a property management vertical very quickly, right? And then you basically just sort of manage everything on autopilot. So that's kind of a little bit of that.
One-stop shop, basically.
Yeah. And then an AI cold calling assistant and AI market analyst and AI marketer. Like there's a bunch of different roles. But the idea is that on average, a brokerage spends about $125,000 a year on back end and office support and all this kind of stuff. We want to reduce the cost of like mundane tasks and boring things. And we want agents to focus on what they're good at, which is doing deals, right? So Kendall's going to be like the Alexa for real estate, basically.
Siri. Alexa's kind of lame.
Siri for real estate.
Okay.
Can we cut that part?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, so that is what we do.
And
What
what
he
a-
said.
Oh,
What he
yeah.
said.
People, this will be the most skipped section, bro. Like literally, yeah.
No, it's interesting. I think also because people don't understand the kind of work that goes into building a company, and especially like with the pivots that you've done, like a lot of people have just given up, right? So I think it's interesting for people to know how like challenging it is, how resilient they have to be, and just every process that they have to sort of go through to get to where you are.
I mean, the thing is that like sometimes it's not about the idea, right? Like as in having done this for almost 4 years now, I think it's not about the idea. I really think that you can come up with a new idea, make everything $1 billion idea. Like you can do everything, right? Like anything is possible, everything is figure outable. It's really about the people, right? Like I am so lucky I have the best 7 people on my team. Like there's not a single B player on my team. Like everyone is an A+ player, notably. Our first ever employee ever, like sitting across it, like, oh, sorry, my friend Susie.
Yes, friend.
My
friend.
sister. No, but yeah, like, it's just, you wake up for the fact that you get to work with awesome people, and like the fact that you get to work on this industry is a very cool plus. But in times when you don't really know what the hell you're working on, the people you get to go to work with are kind of the reason that you go to work. I don't know, you guys probably have like your creative concrete wall where you just go like, oh shit, I don't know what to film today. But then again,
No, it's literally like the vlog squad, like how you guys are like a bunch of friends like filming shit. We're a bunch of friends building shit. Like that's the only
Same
way
thing.
to look at it.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the process been like for you working with him and all the pivots that you guys went through? Like,
As a marketer, each time you pivot, you have to rebrand the company.
oh.
So each time I'll go build a new website, like launch like new, I'll do like a whole new social media campaign and everything. And then like after 1 month, he'll be like, let's like scratch this. And then again, I have to go back to the word, okay, like let's do this, let's do that. So yeah, for me, it was just fun. Like I'm used to this. Like I've always like been in the startup world, I did chemical engineering. And because like my parents were like, oh, you can do anything in the world as long as it's medicine or engineering. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll pick the easier one, engineering. Then they're like, okay, go to NIT. Then I somehow got into NIT, and like I go there and there are these kids who are like way smarter than me. And 3 years into it, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to be jobless by the end of this. So I co-founded my own startup, and that I'm not going to talk about. But
Whoa.
over creative differences,
Creative differences. Oh yeah, they had a cat fight.
We left. I came here, worked, and then I met Joel. And yeah, it's just been fun. It's just like a bunch of friends building stuff.
Have you ever thought that maybe you should just like work for an established company and not like go through the whole startup process? Because I'm sure that
Yeah.
when this works out, it's going to be incredibly
Yeah.
rewarding.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. There are times where like...
Oh, there was a time.
I feel like a husband and a wife are fighting, but they're like...
oh my God, we're in therapy right now.
I mean, I
Because every time I ask a question here, I can hear the breathing go up
Yeah,
there.
Joel is like... I
It's one of
can
the most-
hear him like his nose just
no,
like...
no, no. It was one of the most traumatic events of my life.
You've had
I remember
many
that.
traumatic
Okay,
crashes.
Wait. Let us say this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was like one time where I'm just like, oh my God, like it was very overwhelming, of course, because like at one point it was just like I was the only person in the marketing department running like everything. So it got really overwhelming because like product hadn't caught up yet. And, you know, it just felt like the whole thing was like dependent on me. So at that point I was just like, maybe I should just drop this. And there was like a whole scenario where I almost quit.
Well,
And,
she did.
I did.
She did.
did.
quit.
I did.
And then what did you do?
I went to a house.
Oh my God, it was literally like
I will pivot my business, but you cannot leave me.
no, he comes below my house and he's like, I'm below your house, come down. And it was just like a breakup and like, you know, the boyfriend coming and begging you to join back. No, he didn't beg me. He came below my house and then like, you know, we talked it out and like, you know, it was fine.
So now you guys are back together.
Yeah, we're back together.
it's
We're back
fine, it's
together.
fine.
Stronger than ever.
Stronger than ever.
So, now we're waiting for the big payday, and then
Yeah,
after
yeah,
that, she'll.
She'll leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Series A. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, now again, to explain to an idiot, which is me, I want to know how, like, obviously you initially when the creator thing you were trying to create, the what was it called? Did you have
Crowdpad.
Crowdpad?
Yeah.
That's where you like the fans can support the creators and like you make money off that, right? So when you had that idea, you raised $2.75 million.
Yeah.
How do you go about that process of raising money for an idea that you have? Like,
Well,
this is for people who want
yeah.
to start a business but like don't have money, so they want to like fund
Yeah.
the business. How does that work?
Yeah,
that
I mean,
process.
to be honest, like my family, my parents have been career employees, right? Like they didn't start a business or anything like that. So I didn't really have a roadmap for it. And also the way that tech businesses form is very different from normal businesses, kind of a thing. A lot of my friends look at our business and go like, oh, how can I raise money for a idea or like for a tech business and or for a non-tech business, just like kind of like how you guys did. And it's just really not the same thing. The reason is that the second you accept capital, I think people think it's some sort of achievement, but actually it's like an obligation, right? As soon as you accept that capital, you're on the treadmill. You go like run, like, you know, freaking run. And every time the treadmill doesn't slow down, it gets faster. Like, and you just need to keep up, right? Like, and if you don't, you fall off, and then like that's really it, right? It doesn't matter how much you're growing. It's just like you're not growing as fast as the fastest company, so nobody gives a shit about it. Anyways, going into the whole process. So I graduated from LSE, and then literally as soon as I graduated, I started working a couple of part-time jobs, and I was like, you know, making okay-ish money to kind of like pay rent and like, you know.
These jobs were in London itself?
Yeah. So, I mean, one was moving tables and chairs at LSE.
Okay.
And then the other one was kind of doing business development for a food tech startup. And basically I was crashing on my friend Danilov's couch. Shout out, bro, because I'll never forget that. And he let me do that for a solid 3 weeks. And then Gokul also, to be honest, like let me crash at his place. And it was not ideal, right? Because I had to put 800 pounds for a deposit for the place. And then my salary was like 1,600 pounds. So like 800 gone there, and then I also need to eat. So then I needed 1 month of buffer. And I didn't want to ask anyone for help or anything. So that's what happened. As I kept doing this, I started a podcast, right? It was called Chai with Startup CEOs. And I basically interviewed all these founders who were successful. I think the thing that people get wrong is like, they think that you have to do it all on your own, right? Like that you can't ask for help. And people think that if you have an idea, like the world should just automatically like gather around you to help. But if you don't ask for it, nobody really knows that you need help, right? Like, so I literally put up something on my story where it's like, hey guys, I'm working on this thing. I'm looking for a software engineer. And that's when like Drishti reached out. Is like, hey, what the hell? Like we went to school together. Like, and you didn't, like, you should have just texted me. I do computer science, da, da, da. And like, you know, that's kind of how that piece started. And then we ended up like speaking to a lot of these Y Combinator founders. Y Combinator is an accelerator that gives people $125,000 and takes about 7% of your company in exchange for that.
How many percent?
7%, right? And doesn't really sound like you're like, why the hell would you give up 7% for one? But then the companies that have gone through this accelerator, like Airbnb, Stripe, like some of the biggest companies in the world today went through here, because it's
Did
like
Zepto also go through that?
Yes,
Yeah.
Zepto also went through the same Y Combinator sort of program, right? And there are 3 months of like intense process where they go like, here are all the billionaires and experts in the world who are going to come and help you to build your startup, basically. And also, the most important part, they introduce you to their network of like thousands of companies, so they could be your first customers. Imagine if I told you you're going to start a business tomorrow and you're going to have 1,000 customers lined out the door. That's why a lot of the YC companies are so successful, because they don't have to go knocking on every single door and be like, hey, do you want to use our product? It's actually...
The distribution's already
Yeah,
sort of
it's like
set up.
some partner of the fund will be like, hey, speak to this company. They're working on this problem that you guys are facing. Send it to 1,000 people. And then it's like, whoa. Like next thing you know, your revenues are crazy. You're raising more money, etc. Anyways, I got these founders on my podcast. It was like, hey, how do you hire your first employee? How do you raise money? How did you get 125K in the first place, right? Like you had to do an application, then a couple of interviews, all that. So we found a similar accelerator to that in San Francisco called ODX, which is On Deck's accelerator program. They backed about 120 companies in their first cohort. The acceptance rate was about 1%. And then we got our first $125,000. I've never seen 6 figures in my bank account before.
So this is when it was just you and Drishti?
Yeah, me, Drishti, and Harman. Right?
Okay, can
So-
you just give us context of what they do for Kendall right now?
Right. So Drishti is the CTO and Harman is the chief software architect. So both of my co-founders know how to code and they're way smarter than me. And they're like the people that like build the actual product, right? I just, like that's kind of my role. But anyways, that's kind of the team. And then we got that 125K.
But then when you get this 125K, do you already have an app, or what's
So we
the
had-
stage CrowdPad is at?
Right. So we had a bunch of prototypes kind of a thing. Like we did a bunch of Figma mockups, and then we made like a very bare bones prototype that was not very functional, I would say. It's very static at the time. So it wasn't really too great of an app. And when we got this 125K, which is about Jan 2022, roughly, I would say, is when we call up Suzy and they were like, hey, like I got like 100K in the bank, bro. Like, let's go, leave your job.
So this amount comes into your account, like they actually
No,
say-
the company account.
Company
Company
account,
account.
okay.
But I've never seen 6 figures of anything.
Any
like,
of it,
so
yeah.
like in any account, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
But like,
So
but
it
like
was awesome.
when they give you this money, it's like you literally go for an interview, you showcase what your app is capable of, what your
Yes.
company is capable of, and then they are like, okay, we'll give you or we won't give you. That's how it
Yes.
works.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's very straightforward. And like basically what they're trying to figure out is who you are, right? Like what is your childhood like? What have you built before? What are the things that you've done? If they see even the slightest signs of like you have fallen down and gotten back up quickly, right? Like if there's any signs of that in your journey, or if you've, had a lemonade stand when you were like a kid, or you did a garage sale kind of a thing, or, anything entrepreneurial, America is really good at betting on that, right? On betting on failures, on, in the context of betting on people that don't conventionally tick all the boxes necessarily. Like, didn't go to Ivy League, didn't go to, didn't go to JP Morgan to work or something like that. But still, there's something special about this person because of all this hacky stuff that they've done. And I had done quite a bit by then. Like I spent literally 3 out of my 4 years in university just like doing non-profit startups and like fashion startup that failed and like another consulting thing that like so many failures to get there. And they're like, okay, you know what, like we'll take a bet on the person, because at the earliest stages you're betting on the person and you're not betting on like whatever idea it is. It's like their ability to go out there and hustle, because that's all it's about in the early days.
So you got that 125 and then you hired Suzy. That was the first thing you did.
Yeah. That's pretty much what
He
happened.
made me quit my job.
Yeah, and it was crazy because her boss was
Yeah, my boss came in and he's just like, I'll pay for your masters, like wherever you want to go. I'll increase your salary 2-folds. Please stay.
Yeah.
And then I was like thinking about it, and Joel's like, yo, he doesn't care about you.
It's like,
Like-
he waited for me to offer you something to like say that, right? Like,
and then I was like, fair enough. So I quit my job.
yeah. And she's like, shit. Now we're
He
here.
doesn't care about me either.
Hey, come on, bro. He didn't go to her house.
I'm fine, dude. I'm fine. I got a patrol after that.
Yo, let's go. No. Yeah, so that happened, and then we had 4 months where I spent quite a lot of time in San Francisco. Opened my eyes because I grew up in Dubai, and like Dubai, India were like my reference points. I didn't really know any entrepreneurs, so to see a full sea of 120 different entrepreneurs at the same time working on cool stuff was pretty inspiring. Yeah, and that's how we started.
So when you get that money, like, then are you accountable to them for each penny spent? Like, how does it work? Like,
You have to send a monthly investor update out, kind of saying how much money you spent, how much money you made. And that's kind of like the good founders. There's a lot of founders that don't update as well, which kind of is bad for you, because let's say if you fail in this first instance, right? If you want to raise money a second time, the investors will think, this guy didn't even update me for like a solid 12 months. Why should I give him money, right? So it's kind of up to you how you want to take that cadence.
So you send out every month.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
mostly.
just
Mostly.
He panics one day before and he's like, sends it to all of us like, is this okay?
yeah.
So in that, like, is there everything, like money spent on literally everything, money made on like how detailed
It's just the
is this?
general numbers, right? Cash
Okay.
in bank, monthly recurring revenue, total revenue, net burn. So net burn is basically like the amount of money you've made and the amount of money you've spent, like the subtraction of that. I
And then
think I
like
do
any
understand.
product updates,
Yeah.
any new hires, like
Basically
Yeah, I
anything
think
that
he
the
does-
investor would be interested
Yeah.
in.
Like highlights and lowlights.
Yeah.
That's how we say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And do they actually go through it like these?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure they do at some level.
You wanted to say no.
So
I guess it depends on who's
wanted to
invested
say-
how much money.
so no, it actually does not. Which
No?
is so surprising.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like I've had like some of our biggest checks who like don't check in on every month kind of a thing. And it's because of this, right? Like when you're a venture capital firm, you focus on your winners, right? You don't care about the guys that are losing. Like you want to back the winners and make sure that they kill it, right? Because the guys that are slightly okay, like they're gone, right? Like that's kind of your view. I think we were in the camp where they thought that we were done, right? So a lot of people stopped, like transparently, I think, I don't even know if I should say this, but like what, 3 or 4 people out of 55 people would respond to our updates like every single month, which is
Like
crazy.
right now.
Yeah. It's just what happens, right?
So you're saying that 55 people have invested in your company, but only like 4 reply every month.
Yeah, because we're a loser, right? Like in their view, because as far as they're concerned, we're dead, right? Next month, my DMs are going to be so busy, right? Because we will announce some interesting things at that point, and everyone will be back because everyone wants to come to collect the trophy, and no one wants to be there to do the hard work. So, look, I'm
Are you going
grateful.
to respond to them when they come
Of course, I'm grateful for them backing us in the first place, because without that, I wouldn't like be able to do this with our team. But yeah,
So you raises 125, and then when did you raise the 2.75? Like what?
4.5 months after that.
So that was the same process.
No, but it's the same process, but with like 150 different people instead of one person.
So you just like have to meet the people, explain the app, what
Same
the vision
thing.
is,
Again,
everything,
again,
again.
Yeah, and I flew all over the US and like India
Yeah.
and
I remember at
UAE.
that point, I used to look at his calendar and it's like booked at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And we
Yeah.
all were really concerned for him.
Because I was in San Francisco and taking calls with like funds in Bahrain or like in France or like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I was really not doing great, like from a physical health standpoint at the time. But yeah, it's
And how old were you at this point?
22.
And you guys, the rest of the team was in Dubai.
I think
Bit all over, no?
Yeah, only I was in Dubai.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and we were just like working on all of the other stuff behind.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like when you're in fundraising mode, you can't do anything but fundraise, because otherwise your focus gets distracted and then you don't end up actually achieving. Because like a lot of people stretch fundraisers out over 6 months, and it's the worst thing you can do. We closed that initial round in like 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, like a lot of it has to do with the market as well at the time. And it does take like 4 months on average to kind of like close a round, I would say. But yeah, like that time we were the shit. So yeah,
Okay, so now please explain to me what these rounds are. Like what are the rounds?
I think Susie can.
Yeah,
What do you mean rounds?
Like what's
Series A,
the-
Series
yeah.
B.
Oh my god, I'm the like I will break it down.
Yeah.
So when you start, there's something called pre-seed, which
Mm.
is the 125K that we raised.
Yeah.
Then there's a seed round,
Mm.
which is like a few months later, which is the 2.5 million.
Mm.
Then once you've hit a certain milestone, you raise Series A, then Series B, then Series C. This is what
And
rounds
but
are.
what are these milestones? Like, do you decide the milestones or do the investors decide the milestones?
I think it depends on like investors,
Possibly
right?
a combination of
Yeah.
You can set the milestones.
Like, give
right?
me an example of a milestone.
Okay, so let me so pre-seed, you need a idea and like some sort of belief capital from the people on the other side on the basis of whatever your experience is. Seed, it's kind of like you've got an MVP out and there's some small usage on it. There's some early proof of traction, early proof of revenue kind of a thing. It could be very early to the extent that like, there's nothing, or it could be pre-revenue completely, or it could be that there's a little bit of revenue. At Series A, you're expected to have used the seed funds to kind of get to a certain decent number in numbers. And then like, let's say you're at like $2 million in recurring revenue kind of a thing or something like that. Then a Series A investor goes like, okay, interesting. I'm going to give you more money, but then now you have to figure out not just the part of making money, but also your unit economics kind of a thing, right? Like, are you profitable per unit that you sell kind of a thing? And that's kind of what you figure out at the Series A kind of mark with the Series A funding. And Series B is like global expansion kind of stuff like this. And C, D, E, all of this stuff is basically more forms of expansion, right?
Wait, how long does this go on for?
Until you say so, right? Like technically there's companies at Series G as
yeah,
well.
F, G.
F, G.
Yeah,
I think Zepto just
I've done
raised
double
250,
A
right?
also.
Yeah, what? Double A?
Yeah, as a lawyer, we were documenting because it's gone to Z.
Oh, wow.
It's come back to AA.
Wow.
No way.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's like the
I've
number
ne-
plates.
Yeah, but also it like depends like on how many investors you have, like what you want to do. Like investors also want exits, right? So then if they get a good opportunity to exit, then instead of investing more, they just exit, right?
Yeah.
So,
So and then like after that, you decide to go from a private company to a public company, which
Yeah,
is when you
see.
get trade.
IPO
IPO,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now you guys are on series.
No, we finished our seed round and
Yeah.
we're, I guess, now in an interesting pre-series A kind of stage where, because we had a pivot, we had to raise additional capital to kind of like fuel, like to restart that journey basically.
But when you pivot, are you answerable to the people who invested in the
Of course.
and
Yeah.
they have to all say okay, or like
No.
you can do whatever the fuck you want?
We still have like majority
Oh,
of
you
the
have-
company.
okay,
So
okay.
like we can decide, and they can give you their feedback and advice kind of a thing. But at the end of the day, like I said, you're backing the person, not the idea. So that's why they are
So
usually fine.
what you're talking about comes a little later in the stage of the company where
When you have a board and
when you have a board of directors and there are certain items which you can't pass without taking approval and consent from the people who invested. And similarly, like for instance, if they sell majority of their company, then there'll be certain items that the investors can't do without taking their approval. So these are like sort of matters that you discuss at a term sheet level, which then comes into your agreement and da-da-da.
yeah, which is crazy, right? Because companies like Uber has had their like CEO kicked out, even though he
Yeah.
was the guy,
Yeah.
Travis Kalanick.
Guys, just watch Succession.
Just watch
That's
Succession. Yeah, that's what we named the company after, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
Kendall.
Kendall Roy. Kendall. That's
You
all.
named her after Kendall Roy.
Yeah.
Literally. We
you
were
think
just
it was
sit-
after Kendall Jenner?
we were just on a
No,
call.
I just thought Kendall Roy. I don't know.
He doesn't like Kendall.
Cool American sounding name, but let's call it.
No, but you
Kendall.
also don't like Kendall as a character.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he is
doesn't-
kind of a
doesn't-
wuss, but
he
like-
doesn't win very much. Like
Yeah.
he's.
Yeah, he's a flawed star.
Why didn't you call
That's
it?
what
Why
I'm
didn't you
about
call
Logan,
it Logan
right?
AI? Yeah.
to say. Logan AI?
Yeah.
Bro,
didn't have a
unhinged.
ring to it, you know,
Yeah.
like.
Kendall's
Also, I'd
cool.
probably exist, dude. Kendall was the only thing with one L that didn't exist.
Kendall sounds nicer than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So my huge plan, and I don't know if this will work out. Maybe this will be a cool clip.
Put
for
it
like-
out
It'll be a
in
cool
the
edit, bro. It'll be a
universe.
cool
Put
edit.
it into the universe.
Put it in
and
the
manifest and vision board and
Okay, Jay Shetty, calm down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry. My thing is like I want a product launch where like we have very Apple Steve Jobs vibes moment, and then we have Kendall Roy on one side and Kendall Jenner on the other side launching the
Ooh.
product with us. Like that's like kind of the. Hey, I don't know, just for the vibes. I know.
Love the vibe.
We'll talk
Marketer
about
does
that.
not agree.
Suzana, what do you think about that?
She's like, I'm not going to rebrand again.
Joel has big dreams. Very, very big dreams.
What
It's
do you
good.
mean?
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Come on, bro. It's just like a phone call.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, to understand this, so Series A can be a company, it can be one person, it can be a combination of people also, right? Like,
Investing?
yeah.
Yeah. Usually a combination. It's like
Oh, okay.
consortium of investors, right?
Yeah, there'll be like a lead investor who invests like a major chunk of the amount, and then there'll be like.
And you guys decide the amount, or how does it work? Like, you guys decide, oh, this is the amount of money we need to raise for
Yeah,
Series
we
A.
we decide how much capital we want to raise, and then we go out to the market, be like, hey, we're raising this. This person says I want like this much percentage ownership in the company. So for that, I need like out of a $10 million round, I need $7 million. And then once a lead is in, basically everyone else, all the sheep will come, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I also want to invest. Like that's how it works.
Do you ever have days when you're like, fuck this shit, I'm done?
No.
Never.
No.
Not even, you don't even feel disheartened when like out of 55 people, only 4 people reply.
She's seen my WhatsApp chats. Like it's way more than that. Like I have like 200 conversations open at any point of time, and like about 195 are not replying to me. So I'm used to it. Like it's just the nature of the job, right? Like until you're obvious, nobody gives a shit. So that's how it is.
Yeah. He keeps talking about that as well. The sales grind, right?
Oh, you
like,
came with us, no?
I
The-
came with you.
To the.
Oh yeah, I went for like one sales day with them to Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi, and oh my god, by the end of it, I came to the car and I started crying because like it's brutal out there. Like
This is like when y'all were pitching to brokerages. to-
yeah, we did like a whole Abu Dhabi thing.
Brutal in what sense? Like,
As in, they're mean. And I like until then I hadn't done the sales thing. Like I was just like sitting there doing my marketing stuff. So one day I was just like, let me just go with them. And I saw like, how they were dealing with rejections and all of that. And I don't know how to take it. So
I think hands down, sales is the most brutal
it is.
job. And anything that's customer facing and you
Oh
have
my
to
God.
really pitch yourself, it's hard. Because people aren't nice.
But
They don't want to like even spend 5 minutes listening to you talk.
but how brutal are they? Like, can you give me an example?
So I mean, like, what about like where we were waiting for like 45 minutes for this
Yeah.
guy? Like, to be honest, we cold walked into this office, right? Like, we were trying to hack our way into this thing. These guys won't meet us. They don't care about us. So we're like, hey, like Aman, our head of sales, he's basically like like he's got a British accent thing matters. It's like, oh, I'm just flown in from London, and then like, oh, we got this. We would like to give you our technology, and like, and then she was like, yes, sir, yes, yeah, you got it, like, and then
Yeah.
like, let me call my boss. Boss comes in, he sees us and he walks past us, and then like we're like, hey, can you let us in? And she's like, just give him 30 minutes, like he's on a call or something. We go back after 30 minutes, like, oh, he's going for lunch. And then we come back after he's back from lunch, like, oh, sorry, he's not going to be able to make it today. So we've basically spent like a ridiculous amount of time, and the guy is just like, we don't want to talk to you, right?
And then he never spoke to you?
No, he didn't.
What the fuck?
And we went to freaking Abu Dhabi, like,
Yeah.
from here, right? So it's kind of like we go all in every single time, and like, this is going to be it. This is going to change the game, right? If we land one firm that's 40 users, each are paying almost $80, that's $3,200 per month in revenue. So of course I'm going to go all in every single time. But to be honest, sales is really not the most brutal job.
Really?
I really feel like there's so many more other jobs in the world that are way harder.
No, I
Like,
think because
yeah.
when I used to, my first ever job was like primary research. And so my clients were private equity firms, consulting firms, and we used to sort of do research with experts in a particular field, right? So say you're a fund that wants to invest in the shoe space, specifically say school shoes, right? So we're calling up people who are experts in this field, say someone who's doing finance at a Bata, and the cold calling and like trying to just convince them that we're not a competitor, trying to steal your research. It's brutal because they don't want to talk to you at all. They don't want to even say, yeah, I do so and so for Bata, right? And here it's at a very superficial level. So when you're actually selling a product, it gets worse, in my opinion, because they want to then see value in the product. They want to see why you should even spend X amount of money on your service or whatever it is. So for me, sales is genuinely the worst thing. Even as a creator, when you're pitching yourself to brands, it's like they'll really question your entire like personality, and then you also start questioning what you are, what you're doing. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, right? Like we build a certain amount of digital leverage. Like the idea is that like when you have, let's say, you got like 1 million followers now, not yet. Oh shit! Sorry. Anyways, sad. You got like 220k followers. Yeah, there we go. I know
You know
that.
exactly how much I have. I know you know how much I have. I don't know why you're gonna do. You're just like that guy who would beat you in Abu Dhabi basketball.
No, but you know, when you walk in with that, right, it's a much easier conversation to have than if you have like 1,000, right? So I know it doesn't sound like anything, and like followers or whatever, like you guys create because you love creating, but like a lot of people look at the numbers, look at who you're associated with, who are you shaking hands with, who's liking your post, commenting on your thing, and they're like, okay, fine, I guess I kind of trust that guy. So before you even in the room talking about what you're selling, they're like, am I bought into the person, right? And that's what's happening increasingly, because like every product is commoditized. Nothing is unique. No technology is unique. No products are unique. Everything is the same thing. Repackaged marketing and like, you know, personal brand. Like these are the things that are like changing the game, right? So that's why I did the whole podcast thing with you, which is kind of like where we interviewed like the top 35 brokerage owners between the UAE and UK as a networking tool. Like I was losing money for 20 episodes easily, right? Before
Yeah.
the first person said
Yeah.
yes. And then all of a sudden one guest referred $8,000 in revenue, and that covered the cost of the entire thing. Like, and then some,
Yeah.
right? So, and since then podcast guests have become investors, customers, referred other customers. Like it's insane, right? But you have to be willing to put in the work in the early days to build digital leverage. So when you walk into a brokerage office like that, they put some respect on that name, right? Like, am I cool? Where?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that?
yeah, you're good. You're good.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I think someone actually came up to him and like, "Oh my God, you're Joel! Oh, you run that podcast."
It's happened a few times
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the beach. Kite
Chill,
beach.
chill out. Chill out.
Kite
Yeah.
I love the relationship that they have.
She just humbles me every time, man. It's like sad.
Someone has to.
No, but
nice. It's very interesting. It's very
is it interesting?
it is. I mean, for me, it is interesting because
I mean, it's interesting because like I feel like in today's world, like everybody, like people either like working for some company, and you know there's that safety in working for an established company, and then like you know you have a salary every month or some like
Stability.
people are like there are sportsmen, and then there are content creators and musicians, but like it's very interesting because like you don't see so up close when a person is starting like creating a startup, and then you know the trials and tribulations which you need to go through with your team, and then people who believe in you day in and day out.
Minus
that's-
one day. Like
Yeah, minus that one day where she didn't believe in you. So that's really like
Yeah.
nice to see, like that process.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
I just want to know if he becomes like like when he becomes a billionaire, is he going to be an asshole?
Oh my
or
God, it's
like-
gonna be unbearable. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
come on. I'll still call you at 9 a.m.
He'll call me at 9 a.m., but the LinkedIn posts will, triple.
Oh, I will triple. Like imagine this guy's giving Gyan when he's broke. Like when he's actually got money, it's gonna be nuts. That's what. So
He's gonna have 3 Teslas.
yeah.
oh god, him and his Teslas.
Please.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone as obsessed with Teslas as.
Dude, it's a good car, man. Like,
What do you think of Teslas?
Dude,
And what
Stop
do you
it.
drive? What do you drive?
Oh,
I
come
drive a
on.
muscle car, so I
What is
hate
a-
Teslas.
what is a muscle car?
It's what it is.
Whoa.
It's a car with a big engine that drinks petrol, unlike iPhone
Oh, okay.
that he drives.
I don't know.
She's actually gone viral for like posting. So she has this post, yeah. She gives me shit for LinkedIn stuff. Let me tell you about her stuff, right? Like where she's like, guys, in 2021, I couldn't afford a MacBook. In 2022, I got my own patrol. Yeah.
A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do, you know?
No, but it was awesome. And like she went viral on like Twitter for that, X for that.
Yeah, X.
Yeah, and now she's got this muscle car which kind of looks like it's Batman's car, like that. It's like got like this cage kind of situation going on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, she wanted
No,
to put
it's just
pink
nice over
calipers.
here, right? Like they see this car and they think it's a dude,
Mm.
and you get out and suddenly they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Do,
And
you, do you get a lot of attention because of that?
oh yeah, for sure. Like sometimes I do this thing where I just like roll the windows down, put music, and I drive just for attention.
You're basically a Delhi guy.
Yes,
Living in
exactly.
Dubai.
That.
That's what they do in Punjab and Delhi and wherever else.
Yeah. And then when they see it's a girl, it's like, they just look back. And it's nice.
To be honest, I think it's like,
It's
pretty cool. Like when, like,
It wouldn't hit the same if you were in your Tesla playing loud music.
I got so much like, what is the? Oh man, I'm so bad. I don't want to butcher my Punjabi. Like, like I got like Lal Kara playing on like, with the windows down. I got
Yeah.
like, Naina. Everything is like going.
He's
oh
in the
my
fields.
God,
Like,
yeah.
and then everyone's just like, please roll your windows up.
He
Like,
has
you
you
drive a
sit in
Tesla.
his car and it's like sad Hindi music, and I'm like,
Hey.
you don't seem like a sad Hindi music guy,
Yeah. No.
Diljit Dosanjh.
Diljit
How do you say it?
Diljit Dosa?
How do you say it?
Hey, come on, man.
Dosanjh?
Dosanjh.
Ah, that.
Diljit Dosanjh.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you say it, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I can't believe you went for a Diljit concert. You're the last person I would have expected that.
I mean,
You would be
Dude, he only listens to
surprised.
Punjabi music.
Yeah, but does he understand it?
I don't think, I don't know. I love it, but I don't
no,
understand it.
no.
It just sounds nice.
Yeah,
We
that's
cannot afford a PR person right now.
yeah, no, I mean, it was pretty cool. Like, I
Yeah.
think if I could afford the better tickets, it would have been nicer.
Okay, so besides running a startup, both of you, what are your other interests? And I say this because this man I don't think has any other interests. So.
That is true.
Please
I
look
agree.
at
I
Fundraising is his passion.
I knew it. I knew that's why he called me to this podcast. He's like, I
boring
only.
as fuck.
No, I
have
have
nothing else
never. No, the thing with Joel is we have obviously met
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and I know, like, just by looking at your social media, I know like Suzana is interested in like Formula One and
Boys.
Ferrari and
I have a boyfriend who I love very much.
I know, but he's a
I
boy,
don't-
right? the hell?
And
I
she-
have a boy. When you become like a K-pop star all of a sudden, like,
and, and she's into badminton and like she likes her cars.
Dude, nice. You've done your research. I
And
like
this
that.
guy has, like, I have met him 1,000 times. I've already talked about, he will ask me, how's content creation going? I will tell him 10 things. I will ask him how fundraising and startup life is going. And that's it. And besides Diljit Dosanjh, what are your other interests? Like, what do you like doing on a chill day? If there are any chill days. What is your hobbies?
I don't like.
Sometimes I gaslight him into coming to play badminton with me.
Yeah, he plays badminton now.
But does he
yeah.
like it?
Yeah,
He
it's all
likes
right.
it. He's just not very good at it.
Okay, I am in the room. I can actually answer this question. Let me.
Yeah.
No, so I like running. Like, I think it's nice. I'm not like a super fit guy or anything like that, but I like it because it clears my head, kind of a thing. So, like your 5K, like 3-4 times a week, like that's kind of the vibe. And I don't want to become an ultra marathon runner or anything like that. That's one.
Chai, you like chai?
Try, yeah, like chill with my friends. I actually love to hang out with there was a time where I was like my high school friends, like, guys, NGMI, like none of you are building unicorns. So like, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, like, it's not going to happen. And then I was just like so done with this whole startup thing, like where like in the context of everyone just like talking about startup, like, oh, fundraise this, sales that, like whatever, that at the end of the day, I just wanted to hear about who broke up with who and like, like which person called the other person fat, like, and then like, just, yeah.
This is funny that you say that because it's the exact opposite.
Opposite of what I said yesterday.
She
What
put
did
up
you
a,
say?
she put up
I
a
was like,
reel.
I don't
Oh
want
my
to
God,
hear
I
about
saw
gossip
that.
anymore.
She put up a reel. What is
I
the reel? What is
saw
it?
Money
that.
conversations.
It's just that I want to surround myself by people who help me grow, evolve.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the same stories 10 times over.
So I just feel like I lived life like very accelerated because the capital injection does mean that you find yourself in like very unique opportunities. I was in like all sorts of crazy countries at conferences. Again, if you're a founder, don't go to conferences, please. A waste of time. But like, I didn't know what I was like, I'm just trying to figure out, build credibility globally kind of a thing. So that's what I did. But my point is like, we did so much startup networking, like, and like, intellectual conversations that I just wanted to like chill. Like, to be honest.
No, I think I went through that phase because I'm a lot older than you. I went
You're
through that
older than me?
phase.
Wait, how old are you? Like,
I'm not going to tell
sorry,
you.
of course, I don't know.
You're giving 23 though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's good.
No.
But yeah, so I went through that phase long back, like maybe 5 years ago. which is when I started creating content.
Yeah.
But now I'm back in the phase I was in. So
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
ready for money conversations. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, of course. Makes sense. But yeah, I think it's so underrated. Your high school friends and things like that, and going to random Metro Boomin concerts,
Yeah.
for instance.
Yeah, what do you like doing in your free time? Like,
I do random.
Boys.
You've seen those. Boy.
Sorry, my boyfriend.
Boy. Yeah. So you've seen those reels where there's this one friend who's like, running at like 6 a.m. and then at like 4 p.m. it's at like at a
That
concert
one,
clubbing.
unemployed
It's
friend.
that one friend whose stories will never make sense.
Never
that
makes
one
sense.
unemployed friend at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am that friend. Yeah, I am that friend.
But she makes a lot of money also.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Hey,
No, but I feel
Not
like
a lot.
Not a lot,
Okay,
huh?
money. Okay,
Good
besides
money.
that.
she's not happy. Huh? You better increase.
Yeah, I don't
Good.
think he cares about you.
No,
Just
he
like-
cares about me.
Come
dude.
on.
He cares about me.
I came till
He came below my house.
and then like Rabash. And
Yeah,
like,
Rabash
you
and
know,
all, yeah.
I don't know what is
I
it?
took her for shawarma. That was
Oh,
my way
yeah.
of being like, hey, please stay.
So wait. So your old boss said he will give you masters and
Double
double
your
your salary. This guy got you a shawarma.
That's all it takes sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, that's
She was just hungry.
And Joel is like the toxic boyfriend.
Yes, it is, dude. Yes, it is.
Oh, come on. HR is. That's
Yeah.
your.
But
HRS.
Susie's profile really intrigues me. Like, I never know what to expect. Like, one day it'll be like skincare and she's done insane research, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
amazing. The next day it's just some concert.
No,
the
I-
third
One day
day,
I'm hanging out with my dog.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
feel like
like-
Suzana's Suzana's Instagram has high recall value because, like, I remember a lot of the things. Like, when she's sick, she puts up a story and then you remember forever that she was sick. Like, recently, 3 weeks or 4 weeks
yeah,
back, you
yeah. I
were
was sick. I was sick.
sick. And, like,
time's up.
okay.
So just wrap up quickly.
Oh, okay. Damn, this is how it works here? Okay.
Yeah. I told you guys this.
There's like a limit on
Okay, guys, so we are. I'm panicking. Guys, we are done with this episode because we don't have time. Apparently,
something you
we're in
wanted-
Dubai. We are in Dubai, and apparently, if you say 7 to 8, we stop at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, this is not Indian
It's
standard
not
time.
India. India, we would have gone for 1 more hour. But I think we'll do a episode 2.
Yeah.
So that we can cover
Let's
more
do it.
topics.
Let's
and
do
then,
it.
Yeah.
No startup.
because
Don't
Joel-
talk about
this-
CRM.
Because Joel won't shut the fuck up.
You asked.
I asked one specific question. He'll start from his childhood.
Bro, you could have
Bro,
stopped.
how to raise money? So when I was in LSE, I'm like, motherfucker, I asked you how to raise money.
Yo, it all started. And, you know.
Okay,
yeah.
guys, so thank you for watching this episode. We'll definitely do a round 2 with
Yeah.
Suzana and
Are we
Joel.
wearing the same clothes?
No, we'll wear different clothes. And Suzana won't have a...
We're gonna have to
Blazer
are you gonna combine it?
no, it'll be a
we'll
part 1,
release
part 2.
this, and then we'll do a part 2.
Dude, no one will watch the second episode after watching this.
No, they will. Trust me.
We won't have you on the cover for the second episode.
Just put Susie. I love boys. Like,
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Please,
Gonna get used to it.
please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.